listening to tonight's show. You can connect with Jammin Jukebox Radio Show on Twitter at Jammin Jukebox or on Facebook at Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Check out our website at thejamminjukebox.com. Also, follow us on Blog Talk, where you will be always up to date on every episode as we add it. Each episode is available for immediate download upon the conclusion of each broadcast, and as always, on iTunes. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, and welcome to Jammin Jukebox Radio Show, and this is Take Two. No, it's not Take Two Radio, but we are doing a second run because earlier today, our guest for today, red-chevrons, which is a band from the UK, they were having difficulty, and we finally figured out what the problem was, and now I am so excited because we have them on. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey, you all right?
Hello.
I want to say thank you for, first of all, bearing with us as we get through all of this, and it looks like you got connected this time around with no problem.
Yeah, well, God knows what happened last time, but we're here now anyway, so we're happy to talk.
Yes, thank you. Yay. Well, I want to say thank you for what is now spending a lot of your evening just hanging out and kind of trying to get in before, and now you're in, and so thank you for being here and for being, agreeing to do this interview. We certainly appreciate it.
No problem, it's fine, yeah.
Well, I want to get started and talk a little bit about your background and talk to the listeners, let them know, how did you guys come to be as a band? How did you get together?
Well, me and Nick, we started the band in 2007, and then we met Andy, our drummer.
Hi there.
And we got Andy involved, and then we had a few different members as we were going along, and then we finally found the lineup we got now with Jamie, our bassist.
Hi there.
And that's where we are now.
Well, hello, and I assume this is Rob that's talking. Is this Rob?
It is, yeah.
Oh, hi. And just so the listeners know, Andy and I have become fast friends on Skype this afternoon trying to troubleshoot all of this. Well, I must tell you, the first time I heard your music, I was just so blown away because I love the sound. And, it's so different from what we have here in the States. I love the fact that it's original, it's fresh, and it's something new and different that, a lot of our music is so, it's kind of boxed into certain, genres and styles, and this kind of is a little bit of a breakout from that, and I really like it. And I must tell you, in the weeks that we've been playing, In All Honesty, which is your current single, we've been getting a lot of really positive feedback on it, so kudos to you guys. Very, very good stuff, I must tell you.
That's great, thank you.
Yeah, that shows.
It's always nice. It's
and one of the things that I thought about when I first heard your music initially was that I couldn't get over how much of a Coldplay kind of sound that you have. Although it's not like you sound just like Coldplay, but were they possibly one of your musical influences? Who were some of your influences?
Yeah, I suppose they were, in a way. We grew up with a lot of, like, Britpop music and, like Oasis and bands like that. That's who we were influenced by, I suppose, a lot of British bands.
I guess the current bands, Coldplay are one of the... Coldplay and Kings of Leon are kind of bands that we would listen to, like, socially.
Yeah.
Well, I must tell you, your sound is excellent, and I'm looking forward to that day when you've broken into the American mainstream music scene, because I think you definitely have a lot of potential, and you're one of those bands that definitely needs to be heard beyond the bounds of the UK, believe me, and I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to play your music here on our station. So talk a little bit about your current EP and the song In All Honesty. How did that all come about for you guys?
Basically, I wrote it. I'm Nick. I wrote the words and like the melody line and things, and basically took it to practice, and it just all came together. That's about it, really.
I mean, everybody writes their own sort of parts. Nick normally comes with, like, he says the lyrics and the main melody line, and then obviously I write my guitar over it, and Andy writes his drums, and Jamie comes up with his bass, and it's just a group effort, really. It all just seems to come together quite well.
Yeah, and well, and that was one thing I often wondered, because I know a lot of bands, you've got one person that does a lot of the lyric writing, and then you have one person that kind of puts together the musical bit. So it's really neat to hear that each of you have an integral part in putting it all together, and then it just comes out into this great record. What was your influence or the backstory behind In All Honesty?
To be honest, it's one of them songs that I wrote, and I don't really know what it was about myself, if you know what I mean. I don't really know. It's just one of those bolts out of the blue. It just, happened, I suppose. And I thought it sounded good, so...
Well, I like the fact that you thought it sounded good, because I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. The reason why I asked that is because usually a lot of songs that are written are born out of personal experience, or they're born out of the experiences of people that you're closest to in your life, and but it's definitely a relatable song, and that's the one thing that I like about it, is that it's kind of a song that kind of is for everyone. When they hear it, they can certainly be taken back or taken to a place in time where they can say, oh, yeah, I've been there, done that, sort of thing. So what is some of the great upcoming plans that you guys have for 2013 for this year? What do you have in the works?
Well, we're looking at signing to a management company called Raw Sound Music. We're hoping to do a lot more with Jordan at the Sound Mash Recording Industries. And releasing more music, really, and just getting out there and doing as many gigs as we can, and hopefully we really hope to come over to America at some point and do some shows over there. I mean, I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen, but, we'd love to come over. So if there's anybody listening that can help us out with that, try and contact us.
I wish I had that kind of pull, because you are one of those bands that if you ever get to the States, I want to know about it so that I can try to make it out to see you. I think you would be awesome to see live. I mean, it's one thing to hear your music recorded, but I love live music. And when you do a live show, what do you enjoy most about performing live?
Just the whole aspect of it, really. Just getting out there and playing to different people each night, and hopefully making new fans and things like that, really. I mean, we have followers that come to our gigs, but then it's just getting our music heard by different people and new people, really. And I just enjoy all of it. We enjoy playing the show. We really like the sound checking and just everything about it, really. Just getting out. Yeah. Just having fun with your mates and just enjoying it, really.
We meet some other good bands as well, which is we've gigged with a few different bands multiple times, and we've kind of made friends with it as well, which is good. Well,
that is, and that's really what it's all about. And it really sounds like as a band, you guys, enjoy what you're doing, and then I think when you get out and you perform live in front of people that love your music, that's kind of the reward for all the hard work that goes into it behind the scenes, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is definitely. Yeah, I mean, we've been really lucky because we know a promoter in York very well, and he's got us on with some sort of famous bands that are over here, and it's great meeting people that we grew up with and playing with them, and getting to know them and stuff like that. So that's just it's all part of it, and we just really enjoy it and just enjoy what we do.
That's great. And one thing I want to ask is in the time that you've been together as a band, do you have a memorable experience that just kind of stands out among all the others, the many that you've had thus far as a band, be it musically or with a fan or just in general?
Well, we supported a band from the UK called Ash, and they were a big band when we were growing up. and we got the opportunity. We're actually personally picked by them to support them, and it was just great meeting them. And I think that's probably the best gig we had, because it was a proper sold out show, and it was one of them experiences that hopefully we get a lot more of, really.
Oh, that's awesome. And, it's really kind of a surreal thing, I would imagine, that, if you grow up listening to a particular band and then you become a band yourself, and then to find out that the band you grew up listening to and really admired wants you to be a part of what they're doing. I mean, that has got to be one of the highest compliments you could ever receive musically and as a performing artist, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. As soon as we got the email through to say we had the support slot, we're all chuffed, and we've been, like I said, we've been lucky enough to support other bands that we've grown up with as well, like Cast, and supported Steve Cradock, who plays guitar for Paul Weller, and he was in a band called Ocean Colour Scene, and like I say, it's just great that we just get to support all these bands.
I know that is well, and the way you guys are growing and rocking and rolling. No pun intended there, by the way. There's going to come a day when there's going to be bands opening for you and spotting for you. I have no doubt. Just because of your success so far. Now, in all honesty, it's such a great song. You've got some great music out there. But are you currently working on any new music, say for the next EP or the album? Yeah, well, we've got. We've had a practice today actually before we've come to do this, and we've got 2 new songs coming up. But we would like to get into the studio and record a full album, because we have an album's worth of material that we would like to get out there. I mean, we have various songs you can hear at Reverb Nation. You can listen to all of them, and we hope to bring out maybe 1 or 2 more singles and an album with Sour Mash Recording Industries. So excellent. Do you think that there's a chance you will be in the studio to record that this year? Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to record that. We use a recording studio in Hull, so we can go over there and hopefully get the tracks down and get an album out. Well, I'm definitely pulling for you, and you definitely have a new fan in me. From the moment I heard your music, I was an immediate fan. I knew that you had what it takes to be, a really big band, and I think you're going places. I have no doubt about that. So I do wish you all the best as time goes on with that, and for anything that you want to accomplish this year. And we're definitely going to keep our fingers crossed that you are able to get over to the States before it's over with. That would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, we would love to come over there. It's a lot warmer weather over than it is here. Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know. Now I'm in the eastern part of the United States. I'm in North Carolina, and for the last couple of days, I just have been telling myself, am I in England? Am I in the UK? Because we have had such dreadful rainy weather for the last several days. Of course, comparatively to other regions of the United States who have been getting hit hard with blizzards and snow and things of that nature, we're pretty fortunate, but still I almost felt like I was in a different place for the last few days. So I can imagine that you would want to be, in that regard at least, in a little different climate. But in with that said, I would also like to get over to the UK at some point and see what the UK is all about. I hear it's lovely.
Have you never been?
I've never been, and I would love to go. It's really on my list of things to do before, I leave this earth one of these days. I would love to travel all throughout the UK and just visit some of the various places.
Pickering.
Yeah, not Pickering, don't.
So, I guess whichever happens first, whether I get there or you guys get here, if I get there before you get here, I will make sure I find out where you're going to be performing, and I'll check out a performance. I definitely would have to make that part of the trip.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Sounds good to us.
We'll get you in for free.
Hey, I like that idea.
I'm not guaranteeing I'm saying it's possible.
Now, I want to ask you guys, you write music, you perform, and you record it and everything. Is there some aspect of the music industry that you have yet to kind of tap into that you just really would like to experience?
Yeah, having lots of money. just doing it for a living, basically. And that's all we've ever really wanted. You know, when we started this band, we just wanted to. We're not that bothered actually how big we get or anything like that. It's just doing it for a living, you know, and just doing something we love for a living, basically.
Well, I think that you definitely are well on your way, and as I've said many times throughout this interview, I think you're doing the right thing. I think you're doing what you were meant to do. It seems to just the appeal is there in terms of your music, and you know your fan base is growing all the time, and that's half the battle won, I do believe. But yeah, I think in this industry to have lots of money and a record label backing you is always a plus. Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the music industry over here in the UK at the moment, it isn't really sort of tailored to our sort of music at the moment. There's a lot of, I mean, obviously you would have heard of One Direction, yeah. You would have heard of One Direction, wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're massive fans.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, we are all about One Direction. My youngest daughter is a huge fan, so I'm all too familiar with that little boy band from the UK. Yes.
We've given you One Direction. You've given us Justin Bieber.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for that.
Oh, well, you know, I think they're about tit for tat in terms of, you know, popularity as far as, you know, not only worldwide but just in general. So it kind of goes without saying. But, you know, the thing that I love so about indie music, and, you know, even though there's not a main label and there's not a lot of money backing indie artists, I do love the fact that indie artists have that unique ability to be able to just spread themselves as far as they want. You know, they're not boxed into a big label. Like in the States, you know, when someone gets signed, say Justin Bieber, for example, you know, he's being made and his image is made based around what society kind of wants. And so, you know, I don't know by comparison how that is in the UK, but I know here in the States that when someone like Justin Bieber or some of our big artists, you know, really get signed onto a label, they're kind of really boxed in, and their ability to be able to have a lot of freedom and creativity is kind of really, you know, unless you are Justin Bieber. I mean, for a lot of artists, they really are pretty much told how they're going to, you know, put out their product. Whereas, you know, with an indie band, you've got a lot of creative freedom that you wouldn't normally get otherwise. And I think in a lot of ways, having listened to indie music for a while now, I think as a listener, you know, I get a much better product when I'm listening to indie artists because you can hear the heart and soul that goes into the music, and I think it's just better quality. I think, you know, I think you guys work a lot harder because you have to, because you don't have the money and the backing that some of these mainstreams have. But I think in the end, the rewards are a lot greater because what you're putting out is giving the listener something that they can't get anywhere else, which I love. I absolutely love. Although my dream for any indie artist is to become signed and to make it big and be making tons of money, because you guys definitely don't get enough credit for what you do. And, you know, and that is the truth.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's tailoring to the market, isn't it, at the time. You know, like we keep saying about all this pop music that's about at the moment. I mean, it's just flooding everywhere at the moment, especially here in the UK. So for an indie band, it's hard to get noticed by record labels and things like that. So when the opportunity came up to sign to Jordan in America, we thought, well, it's a good opportunity to get to a different market and hopefully see what America has to offer, as in for indie bands, really, and stuff like that, because we know there's a lot more different type of music in America, really, that you can sort of get into.
Well, and, you know, it's interesting that you would say that, because there's a lot of American indie artists that are finding huge success internationally. They're putting their music in various markets in Asia and the UK, and they're getting not only a lot of great reception and feedback, but they're actually selling records, and as opposed to here in the U.S. So they're actually having to go outside our borders to really do what they want with their music, and they're really making a name for themselves internationally. And, you know, I couldn't be happier. And I think what it is just it's kind of a cultural thing. I think that as UK bands enter into the U.S. music market, it offers, American something completely different than what we're accustomed to and what we're used to hearing all the time. We love receiving new things and new sounds and new music. And I think for our American indies, it kind of works the same way when they cross the water and start putting their music elsewhere. And so it is all about that changing it up, so to speak, because we really do have kind of a music machine that's kind of full of prepackaged type music that is just relegated to certain genres. And there's a lot of music that sounds very repetitious and very much alike depending upon the genre. And so, I've always said that indie music is the music industry's unintentional best-kept secret, because there is a lot of music out there and bands like you guys that should be on the radio, that should be heard, because in a lot of ways it's so much better than what we're getting, because what's on the radio is driven by what the American market says they want, but it ends up sounding very, very much the same. So it gets very boring, especially, for me. I actually listen to pretty much all indie music. I don't listen to a lot of the mainstream stuff because of that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in a way it probably works better as well for like bands like us, because it makes us like work harder. You know what I mean? For writing better songs and things to really try and get noticed.
Yeah, and believe me, you work harder, and I think it really comes through on the record. I think as a listener, as I'm listening to, say, your music, you can really clearly tell that not only are you doing what you love to do, but the product is just so much better. And I've got a real good friend of mine. She's a huge indie music fan as well, and we've just found that I don't think it gets any better. And honestly, I love UK bands. I love UK artists, indie artists in particular, because your music is just so good. I mean, it's just a great sound coming out of the UK, and I wish there was more of it here I wish more of it could be put here in the U.S. to give us Americans something different to gravitate towards. So thank goodness for, the age of social media and technology the way it is, so that we have that ability to listen to music like yours. Otherwise, I may not have ever known who the red-chevrons were. So that's the beauty of it. Now, I have to ask, how did you come across your name? How did you come up with the name Red-Chevron?
I think when me and Rob were sort of forming the band, we're thinking of a name, and I always liked the name the Chevrons for a band, and anyway, I just ended up Googling it, and there was a band already called that here in the UK. So, I just
favourite colour was red, so
put red in front of it. That was it.
It's as good as anywhere.
And it sort of, it just stuck, and here we are today, still called it. We couldn't really think of anything better, to be honest. So.
I definitely think that that's a great name. I mean, it definitely is catchy. It's easy to remember, and I just love it. I love it a lot. So I'm glad you guys stuck with that. I really am. Now I have a question from the chat room. Someone wants to let you know, Pam, she wants to let you know that she absolutely loves your accent. And, so keep talking, she says. But she is curious. She wants to know what is on your iPods. What do you listen to?
Well, we all listen to the same, really. I mean,
Oasis,
yeah. Stereophonics, Manic Street Preachers,
Dr. Dre.
Well, yeah, Jamie listens to Dr. Dre.
I love rap music. I don't know, it's just totally not indie, but Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and like all those artists, they're like my favourites. I don't know why.
Yeah, we're going to make Jamie shut up now.
Yeah.
But no,
here's what I would say to that. If Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg are listening to this interview today, there's a UK band that you guys, I can hook you up after the interview's over, okay?
Yeah, give me something.
I mean, really, if only I had that kind of pull, that would be awesome. But that's interesting to know. Who else do you guys like?
We like quite a lot of older music as well,
The Who,
Beatles and the Who and things like that, and I like Neil Young and things like that. I suppose just like guitar-based music, really.
There's bands over here that we really like called the Cribs.
Yeah, they're
We like...
Cribs aren't big in the US, are they?
No.
I can't think if they made it.
I know, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Gaslight Anthem as well. I think they're a brilliant band as well.
Panic at the Disco. They're good.
Yeah.
Well, those are all really good artists. I mean, some great choices there, and it's interesting that some of those are American artists, and then if you ask us who are some of our faves, we're going to tell you internationals. I love Adele. I think she is has one of the best voices I've heard in a very long time, and she's so humble about her, what she does. She just doesn't, treat it like it's this huge thing. But here in America, we think she's the greatest thing since sliced bread in terms of, star quality and popularity. She's just phenomenal.
What about accent?
I'm sorry?
What about her accent?
Love the accent. Let me tell you. We Americans love a British accent. And as I said, Pam was screaming in the chat room, tell them I love their accent.
Well,
we love a British accent, believe me.
Yeah, well, we've got a northern accent because we're from the northern part of England.
Yorkshire.
Yeah, we're from Yorkshire. So it's a lot different to the southern one, anyway, like Adele.
Although it probably sounds quite the same to Americans, anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Well, it is amazing how, when you're from different areas, you can sound remotely different. Like for me, I'm sure you've noticed I have an accent. I have a southern accent, and, when I go places, people think I'm either from North Carolina or from Texas, the great state of Texas, because apparently our dialects are very much the same. But then, within my own state, there are different dialects and accents, and it's kind of interesting to go to different parts of the state, and people don't talk like I do, or vice versa. So it's pretty interesting. But yes, I have noticed. I love Adele's accent. It's it is British, but it's really neat. I love to hear her talk. But I love all British people. I mean, I love hearing them talk. It's it's very fascinating to me. Most indeed. So, any upcoming gigs you guys are playing?
To be honest, we haven't really, like I said earlier, we haven't really got anything coming up because we've been just trying to get, working on new stuff and trying to get this album done as soon as we can, really. So we haven't really bothered, trying to get any gigs. It doesn't sound very good, does it? But
well, we're signing.
You have to have time carved out to be able to do your album. I mean, if you're playing gigs all the time, that's awesome. But you may never ever get your album produced. So you have to at least be able to make time for that. And I'm glad that you are, because I'm very, very excited for the prospect that will be out in the near future and to hear what that's going to be about. So that's going to be great. I mean, if the music I've heard is any indication, I do believe anything you put out from here on is going to be phenomenal, and I'm really looking forward to hearing anything that you guys have coming out.
Great, thank you very much.
I mean,
very nice.
Like I said earlier, we're hoping to sign to this management company, so they will take over and hopefully get us as many gigs as they can, really. Then we can concentrate on the music and the album.
That's right. That would be awesome, and I hope it works out for you. And just know that any music that you have coming out moving forward, be sure and have your management send that to me. We'll be glad to promote it and play it here on our show, and would love to have you guys back, when that's all done, so that we can kind of preview that for our American listening audience, and let them get a feel for you even more than what they have already.
We could give you the official first play of the next single.
That would be awesome. I would love that. So please pass that along when you get that.
Yeah, we will do, definitely, yeah.
Thanks for having us, basically.
Well, I wish you all the best. I know that what you have forthcoming is going to be successful. You guys are just awesome as a band. I really enjoy your music and look forward to anything else you have forthcoming, and we would love to have you back on in the very near future.
Yeah, well, we'd love to be back, and this time we'll get it sorted out straight away, hopefully. we won't have the problems we had before.
Technophobe.
Well, and actually today, as much trouble as we were having earlier to try to get connected, I thought I was going to have to catch a flight to the UK, and my goal of getting to the UK was going to happen sooner than I had expected. So, but I'm so thankful that you guys were gracious enough to hang around and try to let's get all the kinks worked out, and I'm thankful that it did work out so that you guys could be on with me today.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Anytime. You guys are welcome back anytime. Well, best of luck to you. We'll be talking with you again real soon. And appreciate your time today. And thank you so very much.
All right. Thank you
very
much. Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys. And we'll talk to you later.
Bye. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, you have been listening to the red-chevrons. They are a 4-man indie rock band from the UK, and love those guys. Just a lot of fun to talk with, and if you've not heard their music, you might want to go to reverbnation.com/red-chevrons, and you can get a sampling of the tunes that they have available at the moment. And awesome group. And I want to play for you now before we close our show today their current single that they're promoting. This one is called In All Honesty. Take a listen. All Honesty. That's their latest release. And you can follow them on Twitter at red-chevrons1, the number 1. And if you like them, please support them. These guys are awesome, and would love to see them get to the States at some point in their career. They're a great band, great group of guys. And that's going to wrap it up for us today. So we want to thank everyone for sticking it out and just really hanging out with us and being here. We really appreciate it so very much, and especially want to thank the Red Chevrons for being our special guest today and kind of hanging with us to try to work through all the technical difficulties, but so glad that we were finally able to get connected and have them on after all. So that's going to do it for today. Remember, tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, we will be right back here. So hope that you will join us at that time. Have a great afternoon all. Enjoy your evening, and have a great week. And we'll see you again real soon. Take care all. Good night.
Tonight's show has been brought to you by One Taste of Main Street Cake Shop, baked from scratch, custom-made cakes and cupcakes, and you'll be hooked. Every cake is made to order with only the finest and freshest ingredients. This is no ordinary bakery. Cakes are never pre-made. Main Street Cake Shop is in demand, having provided cakes and cupcakes for numerous prestigious events, bridal fairs, and venues. Owned and operated by April Murray, she has garnered many awards for not only her exquisite cake designs, but also for their incredible taste. If you're looking for a cake for any occasion, or cupcakes in a variety of flavors, then Main Street Cake Shop is the place. Visit them on the web at mainstreetcakeshop.com.